How's it going, gang? It's a final render here, and I already know what you're gonna say. Final render, you gorgeous lady killer, you. Where on earth have all of the Diamond City mod videos been? It's been like ages since the last one, like. Well, it just takes a very long time to go ahead and do it. We've obviously still been live streaming it, we've still been going ahead and doing all the designing of it, but it's just quite simply the biggest project we have ever done, and it takes a long time. But we've made some really good progress with it. The people who love watching the live streams have been really singing the mod's praises, and we all really can't wait for it all to be revealed. However, by the end of this video, you will be fully caught up on where we are with the mod. We've just kind of finished decorating the entire exterior, which means all the exterior design, or mostly, unless we decide to change it, is done. And we are going to be moving on to designing all of the interiors, such as the player homes, casinos, bars, etc. in the next streaming block. So hopefully you can tune in for those streams, but if not, let's get you caught up on the Diamond City mod right now. So here we are back in our Diamond City mod, and there's quite a few things we need to do to go ahead and build the atmosphere of this utopian Diamond City right at the top. The upper being the utopia, and the bottom being the true dystopia. The main way I wanted to do this was just have a huge security presence on the upper stands, and we can do that by adding these huge lights to the top that permanently shine down on the lower city, just to kind of give the impression that there's a huge segregation going on here. And of course, with this being the utopia, what happens if you live in a utopia? You have money to spend on stuff you don't need, which is truly the vibe we're going for with this upper city. So therefore we have covered the entire upper city with advertisements and commercials. It is a true utopia in this sense, and everywhere you look there is an advert of some kind, and it really does help build the character of the upper city whilst making something look extremely sci-fi. It's very Blade Runner, this look, and we also spent a very long time lighting every individual sign so that we could go ahead and have every single billboard be seen almost no matter where you are in the city. So therefore you're always getting adverts thrown straight in your face, and it really sets the tone of the place. And when you look at it in the actual sunlight and even in the nighttime, you can truly see how this place is built purely upon the caps of the rich. There is no one who lives in this upper stand who is poor, because everything is dominated by capitalism up here, and it looks really nice as well. Again, I really wanted to have this kind of Blade Runner vibe, which is definitely the kind of idea I think Bethesda had when they designed Diamond City, but didn't quite nail it with the advertisements. But we've got them here, which I think looks really, really good. Definitely sets the mood. And of course, since this place is really high up above Diamond City, there is literally zero light sources up here. You literally can't see a thing when you're up here at night. So therefore, we have to illuminate every street and every sidewalk ourselves, and we do this by attaching giant light bulbs to the security towers that we have already built. And it's a good way to go ahead and do this, because there are security towers on most of the walkways. We did have to add one or two because there was just no way to get light to them, so we had to add some more towers which have light bulbs on them. But in the end we were able to go ahead and illuminate the entire city, and it looks really nice from when you're underneath the city and you can just see the light shining through the grated floor of the walkways. It looks really, really cool, but of course it was mostly just a necessity for the game, because you just had literally no way of getting around. And it is actually much brighter than the lower city as well, so it kind of gives the impression that the upper people have much more expendable income because they can buy more light bulbs. And of course, even more adverts this time. We're even putting adverts on every single wall, or most of the walls in the entire city. And the idea behind this again is just to kind of have capitalism everywhere. And not only that, but it kind of fits in the actual Fallout aesthetic as well, because you actually do tend to have lots of these kind of lore posters put everywhere, just to kind of remind you of the cool universe you're in. And now, moving on to the apartment building, I loved the idea of having a little garden on the apartment building, because where in Fallout can you have a garden? Heck, where in a city can you have a garden even in our lifetime, you know? So we're going to have a huge garden above all of the apartments. These guys can afford a garden, and it looks really, really nice, I think. It's kind of like a communal garden. There'll be like a little grill area. There's some trees, there's some flowers, and just kind of places to relax. So you're not just stuck inside your apartment, because realistically there isn't too much to do if you live up here. But this finished apartment looks glorious. There are so many adverts and so many posters and so many cool things to do in this little area. I really, really like it, because there are lots of kind of communal areas in Fallout. In fact, most of the living accommodation is communal in Fallout, but this looks very special and clean and looks really, really classy. It's not un-Fallout-y, but it is very classy. And now we can see us doing some work with the piping system. I love the idea of having a full water pipe system throughout this entire city. Because realistically speaking, in the Fallout universe, it's just, yeah, they've got running water, but you don't actually see how it works. But with this case, every building has pipes leading from the building back to the water purification area. So therefore, you can kind of look at all the pipes and see how the city flows, how the water gets from one place to another. And I think it's just a nice little touch, because you don't need to add something like that, but it's nice to know that you can look at that little feature and understand how something in the city works. It wasn't just put there for show, it actually has a purpose, and it's really, really nice. And here, I really wanted to do this, but some of the guys in the chat when we were streaming this really helped with their fantastic ideas for these as well. But I wanted to have unique little decorations on every watchtower. And we were able to design some absolutely amazing watchtowers. Obviously, the security guys on these watchtowers, they're going to be there for maybe 10, 12 hours a day. So all of these watchtowers had their own little unique personalities with unique items in there. We've got like some which have a little TV and little holotape racks, which is really, really nice little design there's for holotape rack made out of the magazine stand. And we've also got one that's, say, devoted to food. One guy's got a bit of a sweet tooth. One guy's got a typewriter. Every single tower has kind of a unique personality to it. And it's kind of a waste of resources in a way, because technically speaking, there is no way for the player to see any of this, unless maybe you have a jetpack on your power armor. But besides that, there's literally zero way for the player to actually get up here and see what's here. But the important thing is, it is here. If you see up here, you will see that thought and attention has been put into it. And I love these little binoculars we made. We made some binoculars using rifle scopes, and they look really, really good. I'm tempted to actually try to make that into an actual binoculars mod, because I think that would be really cool. I've never tried that before. And some of you lot were saying, "Final Render, you handsome man stud. How on earth do you get onto the upper stands of this Diamond City mod? I don't see a way." Well, we actually have an elevator right at the front, but unfortunately the elevator doesn't work on PlayStation 4, so therefore we have a catwalk going up at the back as well. I might only have the stairs available on the PlayStation version, but besides that there is an elevator and there are some stairs. And now I wanted to go ahead and kind of build the world of the kind of corrupt police up here. I love the idea that with the utopia and the dystopia, the utopia normally has a lot of shady stuff going on behind the scenes, and I really want to kind of hide that message throughout the entire city. But the first thing we're going to be doing is making something that's quite obviously a bit dodgy, being that we have this really heavy security. You know, it's very aggressive to anybody who wants to come in. Only certain people are allowed in here, and we're going to make damn sure that only the right people are allowed in here. And we also have the hanging bodies beneath the actual catwalk as well, to kind of illustrate things aren't quite right with this place. And I love the idea of having lots of little hidden messages around this place to kind of show that the place is a bit broken. Maybe there'll be like a dead body hidden somewhere. Maybe there'll be a note you can find talking about police corruption or something. I don't know. But here we go with the city fully decorated. At least fully decorated for now. We might still do more, remember? We've got some fantastic stuff. I absolutely love the little shopping centre we've got right here. And eventually we'll be adding NPCs and actual shops to this kind of place. And it's got some really nice attention to details for shopping area. Every shop kind of has a unique little flavour. We've got a nice little park area here where you can kind of chill and relax in a kind of communal park area where there's a place you can sit down in the shade. You can bring your pets as well. There is food for your pets, there's shade for your pets. We've even got a kids play park there as well, because there's not enough kid-friendly stuff in Fallout 4. And the apartments, I really, really like. I think the apartments is great. We have got this fantastic bar area at the back, which I really, really like. This is where the player home is going to be. It's also where the casino is going to be. But I've got a really nice bar area outside, so you can go ahead and have your beer outside, as well as an absolutely beautiful look with all of the posters and all the billboards, and it's just looking really, really nice. It definitely looks very unique. The idea was to build something that looked a little bit Blade Runner, may also make it look a little bit Deus Ex, and also make it look a little bit Bioshock Infinite. And I really think we're pulling off that kind of look right there. You know, it's got all the dystopia of Blade Runner, it's got the kind of colour and greenery of Bioshock, but it's also got the kind of horrible sci-fi-ness of Deus Ex. And I think we're doing a fantastic job with this mod, even though it absolutely kills the frame rate. it's looking really, really good so far. So thank you very much for watching this video, guys. This has been the final render. I know it's been a long time, but this is the biggest project we've ever done. We're going to start live streaming this again very shortly when we start actually building the interiors of all the buildings. Remember to check out all the cool Patreon people in the description below, and I'll see you around. This has been the final render, and you've been the audience. Bye-bye for now.